probably long before your alarm went off this morning, I received a text message to say that a man had died. He was a good man. He had served on my staff at Cairnmiller for several years, but in recent years he'd gone on his own way and his own practice. He had a predictable personality, always friendly, always reliable, a good human being, as many would attest. He studied human behaviour and helped people to learn about their behaviour, both personally and professionally. Many people grumble and fumble their way through life. This man hopped on his bicycle and rode to his morning exercise and did not return. We pause to notice that good human beings can show good values and even speak to us about how life can be lived. He was not a man of formal faith, even though I knew him for many years. At no point did he speak with me about a formal faith. But when his father died a couple of years ago, he came to me and asked me to stand beside him as I recited the words at the graveside. Somewhere there was faith. So today I'm talking to you about faith, a new faith. Years ago, of course, many years, I've been speaking about it, and I've written about it in the book, Discover a New Faith, Energy for a Better Life. But today I wanted to take it a little further, if I can, and I'd like you to come with me. What does the new faith say about personality, about human values, about human behaviour? 2 prime ministers and 2 presidents have been on our television screens this last week speaking about human behaviour. And they all used the word evil. 2 of them put in an extra word and spoke of something which was unspeakably evil. Now, there's a long time since Jesus of Nazareth used the word in his prayer, deliver us from evil. And he went on in that prayer to speak of the God kingdom, the kingdom and its power and its glory. A different kind of kingdom, surely, from the kingdom of destruction and death. Many say those words, deliver us from evil, perhaps every day, without pausing to realize how close we are with even our next breath to the kingdom of death and destruction. How much we believe in the kingdom of destruction and death. Oh, yes, we do. And how we salute the kingdom of destruction and death in our public affairs. I've read Sam Harris's 3 books, The End of Faith, The Moral Landscape, and Waking Up. And his major theme in those books focuses on religion and faith, the irrationality of religion, the confusion that we all experience with a plethora of beliefs that can't be believed, he says. And he speaks about the end of faith as a useful aspect of human behaviour. And in his well-argued book, The End of Faith, he wrote, "The only demons we must fear are those that lurk inside the human mind. Ignorance, hatred, greed, and faith. Faith, which is truly, he said, the devil's masterpiece." I needed him to go on and say, there is no doubt the human mind has a lot to answer for. We have difficulty with the human mind. From the human mind flows human behaviour. So what about the behaviour of ignorance that sweeps into all cultures? What about the behaviour of hatred that sweeps into all cities and societies? What about the behaviour of greed that sweeps into every individual's life? And what about the behaviour of faith that gets jangled and tangled with wagon loads of confusing beliefs? The behaviour of faith that reflects the madness into which human beings can descend. The behaviour of faith that has led some human beings to climb the mountains and write of the awesome majesty of the earth and the quiet, magnificent wonders of the unseeable, of the seeable and the unseeable heavens, the heavens beyond the heavens. The behaviour of faith would take another human being into the desert, into the wilderness of the world, and the lonely searching of the human soul. So in spite of all the erudite writings of people like Harris and Richard Dawkins and many others, there is the understandable position that they take up when they say, we don't need faith. Let there be an end to that faith, they say. Faith means holding on to a whole lot of beliefs that are unbelievable, that do not do credit to human rationality or human beings and their worth. But I want to say this, if I can. Everything changes when we embrace a different understanding of faith. A different understanding of faith. So perhaps they present one side of faith. Let me swing over to the other side. And so I'm going to give you 8 possibilities for faith. 8 again. Some of you said the other day, 8 is too many. We can't take them in. But I say, but I believe, I know this is an intelligent congregation. Some of you have told me you come here because of that very fact. So I believe, you see, when you say, no, I'm not intelligent enough, I don't think I've got that intelligence is not about what you think. It is what you are. So be intelligent. Of course you are. And let us take these points one by one and either say yes or no to them. Here it is. Faith is part of what it means to be a human being. Faith is a way of adapting and responding to the realities of life. Yes, faith. Faith is an inner energy to rise above the realities and believe, yes, believe in future possibilities. That's faith. Faith is an inner energy, as I say in the book, an inner energy that combines with external influences to help us live with the heavy realities and find meaning in living with those realities. 5, faith adheres to and gives energy to another person. I have faith in that person. I have faith in that object. I have faith in that organization. I have faith in that community. I have faith in that idea. See, I have faith in these aspects of life, and that faith gives meaning to them. 6, faith gives strength to the human personality, to the self, such that I say, I have faith in myself. I have faith in what I'm doing. I have faith in my commitments, in my enjoyments. I have faith in the decisions I'm making. I have faith in my own worth. 7, faith is an important component in our human relationships, in the way we behave with each other, in what we give to the other and what we take from the other. And 8, faith is a continuing component in some higher power. Faith in some higher power. Faith in the power of imagination. Faith in the power of creativity. Faith in the processes of healing. Faith in the inspiration of art and music and human goodness. So you might pause for a moment after those 8 issues and note, as I do, that the mood and music of the new faith flows through to us. In your music, in my music, I find it flowing through the energy and exuberance of Shostakovich's 8th Symphony. There is the new faith, particularly in its 3rd and 4th movements. If you ever get a chance to listen to it, and there you'll hear the faith that comes through the pounding of great music. So, when Sam Harris writes, faith is surely the devil's masterpiece, he is probably wanting us to see only one side of the coin. For sure, many people have faith in the proceeds of greed. For sure, many people have faith in their capacities to hate, in their capacities for aggression and destructiveness. For sure, many people have faith in their ability to manipulate people, faith in their personal charm to draw lots of people to believe in the most horrendous madness. When Jesus spoke of the kingdom, he was exhorting people to believe in and be part of the kingdom of goodness, the kingdom of coexistence, the kingdom that enhances human behavior. Is that a pathological belief? Do we need to affirm these beliefs because our human survival might depend upon it? Do we need to believe in these beliefs for our human enhancement and for human triumph? Many people have become frightened or even angry when I advocate adopting a new faith. What's wrong with the old faith? What's wrong with the old religion, they say? Well, there are 3 things to consider about the old religion. 3 things. It too much holds people in an infantile and fixated state. And it falters in its contribution to a person's fullest humanity, fullest potential, and fullest enjoyment. The old faith tends to be constrictive and restrictive. Second, the old faith holds onto a view of God that is a long way from the average person's experience of an inspiring presence in their life. A long way from a quiet, strengthening presence in their life. A long way from what that personality called Moses felt as he pondered the burning bush and the message he heard coming from it, of a presence that would go with him. The old faith has often lost its sense of that presence. And thirdly, the old faith has tried to rely too much on the image of Jesus. Some who have become part of the progressive religion movement have progressed, indeed, and then stagnated because they've become tangled up too much, I believe, in searching for the historical Jesus when it is impossible to find the historical Jesus. Not possible. And I think it is time that we got beyond that point. How can I know anything substantial about Jesus of history? He left no photographs. He left no writings. He left no video, no recordings. There is barely little that we can get out of Ancestor.com. No belongings. Oh, yes, some people say, yes, we've got his shroud. A version of some people's imagination. And others have given generations different stories, of different presentations of how he died and how it all looked. And we have those great stories of the shoes of the fisherman and keys of the kingdom and many more. If we take a look at this from a different standpoint, my grandfather, I could say my great-grandfather, but let me say my grandfather, he died just before I was born. He left little to tell of what kind of person he was. His son, my father, said he was hardworking, an elder of the church, but nothing more. Although he was family, the family talk of him was quickly lost. In 1 or 2 generations, he is really forgotten. No matter how many times we say the words, we will remember them, we will not remember them, they are forgotten. Time, like an ever-rolling stream, bears all its sons away. They fly forgotten as a dream dies at the opening day. So when we come to Jesus of Nazareth, we have very little to go on. And even the words that have been attributed to him are widely contested by the scholars who have spent years and years sifting through those words. For the most part, we know this, that prime ministers and presidents of the world are not very much concerned about the words or the influence of that Nazarene of 2,000 years ago when it comes to the affairs of state. They are like all of us in this regard. They make their judgments about a human personality. What kind of person is he or she? What sort of person? What are their values? How will they understand and respond? Their behaviour. What is this behaviour? So top of the agenda for all of us, the personality. We're dealing with this personality. We're living with this personality. This is the personality we're proposing to do business with. Can we do business with this person? What are their values? And how about their behaviour? Unpredictable, predictable, unstable, erratic, all over the... Are they sensible, reliable? Are they generous, optimistic people in their behaviour? So there we've got it. Their personality, their values, their behaviour. And it is notable that the retired Bishop of Edinburgh, dare I mention Edinburgh on this day, when my side of the vote lost, dare I mention Edinburgh? Yes, I will. The retired Bishop of Edinburgh, Richard Holloway, once a guest here of mine at St Michael's, wrote in his book, Morality Without God, he wrote, do we have to believe in God to be good? Do we have to be religious to be moral? We have to admit that people do behave can behave ethically and morally without religion, without a belief in God. Even though some may say, oh, but they are living on the residues of a religious culture. That doesn't satisfy to say that. Doesn't satisfy to say, well, aren't we living in a Christian country? Are we? Are we really? What does that mean? We need to pause and ask the question. So as we move through these forests of printed words, we come back to where we started. As we face the crisis of our humanity, we're talking again and again about behaviour, about values, about human personality. Does the new faith have anything worthwhile to say? Has it any worthwhile contribution to make? Because we do know this, the old faith in so many aspects has failed. So I like the last paragraph of Sam Harris's book, in his book, The Moral Landscape. He says, if our well-being depends on the interaction between events in our brains and events in the world, and there are better and worse ways to secure it, then our cultures will tend to produce lives that are more worth living, some more worth living than others. Some political persuasions will be more enlightened than others. Some worldviews will be mistaken in ways that cause needless human misery. Whether or not we ever understand meaning, morality, and values in practice, what we need to hear are the principles of meaning, morality, and values, and to see whether they can transform the way we think about human happiness and the public good. And on the last page of his book, The End of Faith, he wrote, no personal God need be worshipped for us to live in awe at the beauty and immensity of creation. No tribal fictions need to be rehearsed for us to realize one fine day that we do, in fact, love our neighbours, that our happiness is inextricably bound up with theirs, and that our interdependence depends upon people everywhere being given the opportunity to flourish. So what then is the value of the new faith? Why, on this spring morning in Melbourne, do I commend it to you as something for our deliberate consideration? Three things. For 50 plus years, I have been treating the damaged human personality. Destructive, discontented personalities. Anxious, joy-dead personalities. The new faith seeks to elevate the ideal of the beautiful personality. The beautiful personality will be a likely carrier of good values and enhancing behaviour. So the new faith commends the beautiful personality. We're searching for it. Nothing short of that. Second, the new faith certainly recognises the reality of the kingdom of destructiveness and death, but it elevates the kingdom of goodness and glory, the kingdom of the survival of the human civilization, and the significance of behaviours of contentment and human kindness. Worth having. And thirdly, the new faith will not dwell for too long on the unknown aspects of Jesus, but it studies carefully the pointing finger of Jesus, and it points to the celebration of every step that leads to better human beings and better human society. These are what the pointing finger was pointing to. The new faith affirms that. The new faith, fourthly, speaks of joining the human mind and the human spirit in the constant search for human wholeness. What is human wholeness? It says the new faith is not an option anymore. It is not a matter of saying, I will believe this and I won't believe that. I will go to church today but not tomorrow. The new faith does not come with options. The new faith comes as an experience. The experience of wholeness. Wholeness. Discovering again and again what wholeness means in the flow of life. The sense of a worthwhile life in all its flow and it's all its ongoing discovery of its fulfillment. Would you please stand? And say with me, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And the blessing. You've come, and now you'll soon go. Take with you this blessing. May the God you see in all the colours of creation arouse in you a sense of awe and wonder. May the God who is a sacred presence be real to you. May the God who is a source of inspiration and courage keep calling you forwards. May your God go with you and bless you today and always.